What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And this one I'm going to be continuing to show you how to make Bottom Chapter 2 in Minecraft. This is part 7, and in this one we're going to be doing the Infirmary, which is just this little room, along with getting the staircase and pretty much just getting to the sewer, which means next part we're just going to be doing sewers. Oh, hey, look, it's me. And there will be probably 2 parts of that, I'm going to guess, because it's a fairly large area. But anyway, that's all. So that being said, enjoy the tutorial, and I will catch you on the flip side. Alrighty, so just so you are aware, just so you are aware where we need to start this part. Wow, that was brutal. It is going to be this stairway, or this opening here. You can see that is the Sammy room. This is like this kind of hallway, and then this would be the main little, I guess I'm going to call this the lobby area. I don't know. Just to the left here, and we're going to be starting from this door. So, start by getting out the following: oak planks, chiseled bookshelves, stripped oak wood, stripped jungle wood, beehives, ochre frog lights, I guess, oak trap doors. Is there any holes in the wall? This is important. Would not appear as though there is. Good. That makes my life easier. Because then you can just get out oak slabs. And I think we'll save that last slot. We will need stripped oak logs, but I'm probably going to / fill them because they all face upward and they're a floor. And I think you can see where the problem is there and why I don't want to do that. But anyway, if you are at this door, you want to head outside and look towards it. And you want to bring this row of oak planks, a block of coal included, just down. Well, actually, you want to bring it out a row first. Like so, and then you can bring it down by 3 rows. Yes, 3. We'll kind of start with the floor a little bit just to get the staircase started. You'll then go kind of down diagonally back and toward you with a row of planks like so. And then just go out by whatever you feel like. I'm going to go with 8 rows. Maybe go with 8 just so we have the same, but we're not going to continue the floor from here. I just want to get it far enough so that way the thin part is pretty much taken care of, although it might still be further, I'm not sure. You can basically take this flat wall of oak planks and extend either side kind of out diagonally with a chiseled bookshelf, which should look like this. And extend both of those chiseled bookshelves back or towards you, whichever you want to count it as, by 7. And then you'll place a strip jungle wood facing up at the end. Just want to make sure that that would be correct. Basically, that is a block there, and then there's that, and then yeah, that would be 4. Cool. I mean, it's 3 as you can see when I do that, but it's 4 because of this extra block. Anyway, you'll bring these strip jungles here each up by, I guess, 4. And then actually extend those top ones in by 1 to go towards each other with sideways strip jungle, and then you'll connect together with ochre frog lights. Oak trapdoors open against the back of them like so, and then underneath this full row, the strip jungles on these sides included, you'll just place oak trapdoors. Cool. Extend the ochre frog lights specifically, each up with 2 stripped oak wood that face up. Then extend the just singular strip jungle left and right of it up with 2 oak planks. And then on top of those rows, you'll place a sideways row of stripped oak wood, like so. That's some sign about something or other. I can't remember what it says. The chisel bookshelf rows here on the side, you're going to do the following with. You're bringing them up with 3 rows of stripped oak wood, and then from there, 4 rows of oak planks. And when you fill in that row with the oak planks, just as a side note, you will want to bring them forward an additional 1 to fill in this gap to connect into the little opening there. Hopefully everyone is having a good day or night. I am, for the most part, been windy as frick here. So, you know, there's that. Since it is Christmas time as of recording this, I got Christmas stuff out, and I'm like, I hope nothing breaks. I took a few precautions of things just to make sure, but there are a couple things that I am still just kind of like, yeah, it'll be fine. Anyway, from this point, pretty much directly down the center of this, you can place strip jungle wood going left to right. When I say pretty much, it is the center. It's kind of like that. You can see you'll get those 2 4x4 squares that we can fill in with the beehives facing front to back along the staircase. There's a couple little spots we're going to need to break to add some details that are really not going to be important yet, but still going to add them, just like so. We're going to wait to do the staircase so we can do the block of coal detailing, but you'll see that more so later. From this center row strip jungle along either end, you'll kind of leave a gap of 1, and on the second beehive going both forward and backward, you replace it with sideways strip jungle, like so. You'll kind of replace this top oak plank with the same thing on the walls, except it'll face upward, not sideways. And we'll kind of give you these almost brackets, which is pretty much exactly what they are, actually. They're supports of some kind. You can leave the staircase area because we don't need it anymore, and head to the right pillar. And I want to be on the outside of it, and you're not taking this first chisel bookshelf, but one more over. And extending it right with, for now, 4 chiseled bookshelves I'll have facing right. Because I do want to confirm to make sure that it is a strip jungle next. It's not. It's actually another chiseled bookshelf, which you want to face towards you like this. And then you'll bring that towards you with 4 more chiseled bookshelves, and then an upward facing stripped jungle wood. Cool. That stripped jungle wood I'm going to bring down by 1, and then left with 5 oak planks. I'll then place a strip jungle on that oak plank and continue with this row toward me with 4 oak planks. And then a chiseled bookshelf, or sorry, a strip jungle wood, not a chiseled bookshelf. I'll extend the strip jungle up by 1, and then I'll go left with 4 chiseled bookshelves from that top one. A strip jungle wood, and don't worry about this wall. You're supposed to be directly under this. It'll be important, or it'll play in later. Because then you'll go backwards, not that this is part of it, but you'll go backwards with 4 oak planks. Strip jungle wood, and then you'll connect back with what should be 2 chiseled bookshelves. There's a little part of the wall that actually, like, sticks out and covers this. I don't know why they designed it like that. You figure they could have just, like, I don't know, moved the staircase, but whatever. I guess it would be weird because then you would be encroaching on this. So either way, you're kind of in a tough spot. But you can do what you'd expect here. So fill in the floor of this area with oak planks and bring everything up with what you expect and also what you can, obviously, because that wall, you're not going to be able to bring some of the blocks up correctly, but yeah. So as a refresher, each strip jungle and oak plank is just brought up by 3, excluding the ones on the floor. And again, the ones over here that you can't, which I guess literally only this oak plank you can bring up by 3. That's unfortunate. And then each chiseled bookshelf you're bringing up with 3 stripped oak wood. Look how far down we can get. I'm hoping we can get to the sewer and then just have the sewer be its own part. And hopefully it'll only be 1. We'll see. You should have this. We can... Do I want to finish the room? Okay, that's really awkward. You want to basically take this strip jungle, like, inner pillar here, and you want to bring it against, or connect it to either kind of following this floor shape, just connect it to either side pillar with, not that, with chiseled bookshelves, and they can just face out like this. That's fine, because there will be a ceiling there. The rest of the ceiling is just beehives. Again, what you can place, just do place. If you can't place it, don't worry about it. But, yeah, and they'll face the same way front to back. There's no strip jungle here again, just because, look at the space, honestly. It would just it would not be ideal. I mean, I guess you could technically, you'd have one here and then one here, which, yeah, I mean, you could. You just have 2 abnormal squares, but it's up to you. What you can do now, though, is on this right wall where you kind of can see these blocks that you're not supposed to see, you actually can just take this top corner and extend out with 5 oak planks. And then you'll have a row of upside down oak slabs underneath. That's all. It is like that in the game, by the way. That's not an adjustment I made. I figured I should mention that, because that does seem like an adjustment I would make, but it's not. Between that end oak plank and the strip jungle pillar, you'll take the very center, which is this beehive, and replace it with an ochre frog light, and have an oak trapdoor on the underside. What you can then do is move on from this area. Although we still are doing, I guess, this part. What you can do is take the backmost strip jungle, which will be this guy right here. You can see from this corner one, it's just straight back. And that bottom strip jungle, you want to extend back with 4 chiseled bookshelves, a stripped jungle wood, and then I'm going to go back diagonally left with an oak plank, right? Yeah. Which will then be brought left by 1. left with an upward facing stripped oak wood, oak plank, forward diagonally left with a stripped jungle, left with 4 chiseled bookshelves, and then another stripped jungle. And then you can extend towards the front with 9 chiseled bookshelves and another stripped jungle wood facing up. These walls are fairly self-explanatory. The stripped jungle and chiseled bookshelves you're just bringing up by 3. Leave the oak planks and stripped oak wood alone, or rather you're bringing the chiseled bookshelves up with 3 stripped oak wood. I should also mention that. But leave this line of 4 alone. We'll deal with that in about 5 seconds. Maybe a little more. I think it'll take more than 5 seconds to do this, right? Yeah. Cool. With that line, you want to extend the stripped oak wood up by 1. Each oak plank up by 2. You will place an oak plank on the stripped oak and then have a row of stripped jungle wood sideways on top of it. You can... Basically, how do I want to go about this? If you... Off of these oak planks from the other floor, you can just place oak slabs kind of at a right angle like so. They're not sticking any further out, they're just kind of along the row. You can take the opening here that would be the next staircase down and extend either strip jungle down by 1 and connect together. And then you can pretty much just extend the right one up and also connect to the left to give you this 4x4 kind of square like so. Everything behind this square, this floor, you're filling in with stripped oak logs that face up. Now, as I mentioned, I'm not really feeling that, so I'm going to stand right on this stripped jungle against the wall. I'll move over a block, down a block, and I can see this coordinate, so I'll copy it, which could just be writing it down and remembering it. And then I'll just fly to the opposite corner, which would be kind of tucked in here, and I can do /fill that, and then I'll do the other coordinate that I remember, then I'll do tilde, tilde, tilde for my current location. Stripped, not whatever I was writing there. Oak log like so, and if you just it'll default to face up, so you should be good with that. You can also do keep if you're paranoid about issues with the blocks, but yeah, should give you this. Next up, the ceiling. This one does have the strip jungle lines, so what I can tell you to do is if you just take these 2 kind of pillars that where the chiseled bookshelves connect that are kind of down a row from the ceiling, you'll just pull either of these straight all the way across and it'll give you this. And then the only thing you'd have to add is another row strip jungle over here where the wall kind of is indented. And yeah, you can fill in the ceiling with the B-ups again. Cool. I'm gonna remember to take cuts throughout this video because I'm paranoid about the power going out on me. Because one wrong gust of wind and the power is done for the day, you know? But anyway, you should not be able to find your way. I mean, you should. I just forgot. You should have this at the moment. There's that aforementioned cut. Anyway, the 2 furthest back kind of squares, which are these 2, the ceiling tiles, you will take the, out of the center 2x2 of both of them, you'll take the outermost row and kind of going front to back, you'll break these 2 beehives on either side and replace them with ochre frog lights with your oak trapdoors below. Now, the fun part. Block of coal. I'm not going to instruct this block for block as per usual because this floor is basically just covered in it, but I'll kind of show you what I did here overall. So, first thing is you're not replacing the oak slabs at all. These are staying as is, but I have like some kind of coming from the wall over here next to where the stick out bit is. I'll have maybe the bottom of the strip jungle covered, both blocks? No, just that block. I'll have this chiseled bookshelf on the ceiling. I'll have next to the divot in the wall, I'll have one on either of these rightmost strip jungle kind of rows. Anything else on the walls? Yes, on this kind of left wall here, I'll have something like this. That one you might want to copy because you can see that from the other side, in fact. So, at least to an extent. If you do it differently, it'd be more or less visible. And then for the rest of it, it's just the floor. Now, I kind of like to do this in almost lines, in a sense, to where you have, like, you got, like, a line going like this, and then maybe I'll thicken out part of it just for fun. And then it'll eventually connect into another line that'll kind of go both ways. And, you know, then you can maybe have some just, like, kind of splotches. more lines, maybe. Whatever. Just enjoy it. Have fun with it. Mess around with what you think looks good. I just don't really show something like this block for block because I don't think it's important enough to. And you do want to do this to both layers of the floor, by the way. I was copying it block for block, or I have been for the most part, but here I'm just kind of doing whatever. It doesn't matter a ton to me at this point. No one's going to see this. This is not even in the map, actually. Well, it is. It's a copy of the map. Sometimes I do tutorials in the actual map, sometimes I don't. Whenever Mascot Horror Havoc does get updated, you can always check the coordinates and see if there's any remnants there. Not that it'll matter, you're not going to find anything weird, but that'd be interesting. Anyway, before we clear our inventory, I do want to get that staircase in, and then we technically have a lot of things we could do with that inventory set, but meh. So get rid of your block of coal along with your ochre frog lights and get out jungle fence, which was not part of the staircase, and oak stairs, which in fact is. So if you head up here, those kind of brackets that we made earlier, these strip jungles that are kind of connected, you'll just pop a fence in either of those, or in each of the four kind of corners of them. Again, staircase should be the same as you'd expect. From this top row of oak planks, you'll extend back with an oak stair on either side facing in. Then an oak trapdoor open against the wall. Below that, an oak trapdoor off the top half of the block that just kind of closed. Behind that trapdoor, another oak stair. And then rinse, repeat until you reach, I believe, this stair. Yeah, there are no trapdoors at the bottom. Generally, we do it that way. Just because I find that a little bit better. Yeah, something like this. Connect the oak stairs together with slabs and connect the oak trapdoors together with, well, trapdoors. At least these lower ones, not the upper ones. You actually want to have it look like a staircase. And yeah. You can replace these side trapdoors with shelves. I think I mentioned that in the first part. I probably would have had they been out at the time of making this, but maybe that's a chapter 3 adjustment, who knows. If I even do a tutorial on chapter 3, I can't really guarantee that. So, we're going to need some of these materials again, but I'm just going to tell you to clear your inventory because I'd rather start with a clean slate so I can almost just fly through the room. Get out the following. Oak trapdoors, oak fence, lectern, oak stairs, oak signs, oak hanging signs, item frames, paintings, and we're really going to be one short of finishing this top area, is it? I guess a little more than one, actually. We will go with a mud brick wall. We'll do this room in 2 sections. We'll do this kind of upper portion, then we'll do the lower portion. Again, I know materials will overlap, but I just don't really feel like dealing with it that way. So, from the bottom of the staircase, you'll take this rightmost oak stair. If you're kind of on the staircase looking towards the room, you'll count out by 2 and have 2 oak trap doors open to the left on this block. Gap of 1, same. Gap of 1, same again. This one's annoying to place since you'll have that above you, but it is what it is. You'll take the bottom trapdoor in each of those 3, and if you're looking from this side like I am, you'll kind of crouch and place 2 trapdoors off of each of those bottom ones on the top half of them, and then that second one you can just open, so it gives you the chairs. Against the back wall here in this corner, you want to place a lectern facing into that back wall. Oak stair above. I'll extend it left 2. Then from that stair I'll go down with an oak fence. Left with a mud brick wall, and then from that wall I'll actually count up by 2, place an oak sign, and if you skip a line, you'll just do a plus sign like so. Skip a line again, and in all caps you'll type, please wait. And then you want to do another one of those behind the center of these 3 chairs. So if you take this one, you'll be the, I guess, same level actually, the center stripped oak of the 3, sign, down a line, plus, and then down a line again, please wait. It's like a medical room, I guess. Is that what infirmary means? I would assume so. I'm not really sure what the word infirmary is, other than a word. But we'll come back to this little corner because we have a couple things we need to do. We just don't have the materials for it. What I do want to do is come into the for real corner over here, this little area. And on the back wall, this wall, you're going to, on the bottom row stripped oak wood, on the right 3, place item frames. Next row up, you do the same, but on the left 3. And then if you take those 3 item frames, the center one you'll bring up. You will take either center row of this wall from the bottom, leave a gap of 1 extending out, and place opposite down oak stairs facing towards you. Off of those, you'll place another set of upside down stairs facing into those, which will give you this kind of table. Not the greatest, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess. It works. On the back right block of the table, you want to do a very strange thing. You want a lectern that is facing out. You can crouch and place an oak sign off the front of it. And if you place a block, I'll just use a stair here, kind of, it's going to have to face away though, so maybe I will just, can I get rid of the stairs? You can get rid of the stairs and get out a block, and I'll just place one kind of up diagonally like so. And then if you crouch and place an oak hanging sign off, it'll be above the lectern, and it'll give you this. I want to say this is a gramophone, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't remember exactly. Anyway, on the right wall, if you have this block of coal here, you might not. It's just the bottom right stripped oak, or what would be. You'll count left of it by 1, and you can smack a 1x2 painting here. If you did coal and you have blocks where you're placing this painting, I would get rid of them, because I don't think you're supposed to see the coal from the other side. But I could be wrong. I don't remember. From this table, again, you'll take the front right block, count forward diagonally right, and you'll have 2 oak trapdoors moving up, open to the left. You know the drill. Just like that. And then from the back left of the table, you'll count back diagonally left and have 2 oak trapdoors on top of each other open forward, and same thing, 2 coming off that bottom, like so. Okay. You can clear your inventory, and to finish this particular area, you just need 3 materials. Blackstone slabs, sandstone slabs, and black stained glass paints. From this kind of like desk here on this wall, whatever you want to call it, you'll take this mud brick wall and count up diagonally left and place a black stained glass paint. On the ceiling in this corner, back row of beehives, left to right or right to left, doesn't matter. You want an upside down blackstone slab, then a sandstone, then a blackstone. Gap of 1 extending forward, you will copy that. I almost said reciprocate there, but that's just a really unnecessarily fancy word for that sentence. Move into the other area and get rid of those 3 things and get out the following. Blackstone stairs, although reciprocate is a fun word to say. Black stone walls. Sandstone walls. Dark oak signs. Oak sign. Tripwire hooks. Painting. Oh, I remember there's something weird here. Is it that? I don't know if it's that, but it might be. We'll go scaffolding and oak pressure plate, I think. There's a couple weird things that'll happen, I believe. Unless oh, that is weird. Okay, well, never mind. On the right wall, basically, from this row of oak slabs, just behind it, you'll place a scaffolding with an oak pressure plate on top. There's a bunch of item frames on this wall we'll place later. In this back right corner, you'll go floor to ceiling and place blackstone wall, sandstone wall, 2 blackstone. Either side of this bottom stripped oak wood, you'll place blackstone stairs. Between them, a dark oak sign, which you'll bring up with a tripwire hook, and then above that, you'll have an oak sign, and if you go down a line on that, you will type utility access. That's how you spell utility? Yeah. Sorry, I just like had a brain fart for a second there. My brain said, but what if it's not? In the back left-hand corner, you'll smack a scaffolding there. This will come important later. I think we might have to remove this, but I don't know yet, so we're just going to have it there for now. Up diagonally right by 1 from that, I almost just use a scaffolding as a placeholder, because you want a 1x2 painting here. I have it as the one that I just removed, twice. The horse one. There we go. Anything else? Oh, yeah. From the strip jungle to the right of this, you want to count to the 4th floor block in front. You'll then count left by 1, scaffolding with an oak pressure plate on top again. One more thing, I think. Yes. On the left wall, you want to, ignoring the strip jungle, you should leave a gap of 3 from either end of the stripped oak and place a blackstone wall. You will just have in the center a sandstone wall. Alternatively, you place the sandstone wall below the strip jungle row and then have a blackstone either side, but either way works. Clear your inventory and get out the following. You want that Bendy banner again. If you got rid of it, I'll just kind of show you here what the patterns are. I'm not going to show you how to make it, but that is the patterns right there. Or you could go find it in the build and block pick it. You do want the following, though, in addition. Armor stand. Item frames. Oak trap doors. Oak slabs. Which we're going to use for planks, I think. Polished blackstone buttons. Brown banners. Oak fence. And we'll get out structure voids. I'm not sure how much we're going to use of them, though. Well, I know where we need them, but I just don't know if we're going to get there. We should, because we have the oak fence, but... Focusing your attention to this wall to the right of the utility access thing, which is... You should have a valve on there, I guess. But you wouldn't have it actually at this point in the game, because you'd come down and be like, oh, I need it, and then you'd go to the sewers or something. But on this wall, you want to leave a gap of 1 on either side from the bottom stripped oak, and in the center 2 place item frames. Next row up, on each of the 4 stripped oaks, you'll have item frames, and the top row will just be off the right 2. From the scaffolding that is kind of just in the middle of the floor right here, you want to count right 2, back 1, item frame. From that, you'll count left 1 and place 2 oak trap doors open to the left on top of each other. This is not a chair. Behind that, you'll have the same row. And then from each of those bottom oak trap doors, you will crouch and place, I'll say 4 oak trap doors to the left to go against the wall. Although this final row, you are going to want to open against the previous, like so. And then you can bring those up as well, an additional row to give you this kind of elongated H shape. Or it's a line graph? Or like a segment of a line graph, I don't know. On top of the leftmost trapdoors here on the bottom, you'll have oak trapdoors. On the back wall behind this, if you take the strip jungle pillar here, kind of in the center, you'll count left of it by a block, and at eye level, you'll smack your Bendy banner on there. In the corner, you might need to do some weird things here. Let me try something. If I get rid of the Bendy banner and get out scaffolding, can I place the armor stand and then the scaffolding over? Yes, you can. So if you just place an armor stand in the corner like this, you'll have to replace your scaffolding after, but it should place in fine. If you're having an issue for some reason, you can just kind of come in here and do /set block, scaffolding, and you should hopefully know how that works. Or I think you could actually drop it. That would work better, I think. Just dropping it in. Because, yeah, the armor stand will not just kind of go through it willingly. You can, if you didn't already stash your Bendy banner away, you should. You can also get rid of the scaffolding and armor stand and get out an oak button, along with, there was definitely something else that I wanted to get. Mud brick walls. That'll be it. I don't think that was it, but maybe it was just a button. On this, like, front right oak trapdoor, you can crouch and place an oak button. Don't step on this pressure plate or press the button. It'll break. As you can see. I think this, maybe it won't. I don't know, the pressure plate doesn't do anything. Okay, cool. Works for me. Against the left wall, if you kind of leave a gap of 1 from the bed or just under the center of this pipe, you'll have 2 oak planks extending up with polished blackstone buttons off the right of them. Against the top layer of the wall, if you leave a gap of 1 left and right of that pipe, you'll have oak trap doors open against the wall like so, and then below them you'll have brown banners. On the floor directly below the left banner, if you're looking against the wall, you'll count toward you diagonally right by 1 and place 3 oak fence extending up. Still looking this direction from the center oak fence, you'll have a structure void to the left of it and in front of it, and from the top one you'll have one to the right and behind it, which will give you this. The doorway here, this 4x4, you'll do the same thing as you kind of have done a bunch of times already in this build, not particularly in this chapter, but you're going to surround the perimeter in mud brick walls, fill in the bottom row with structure voids, and what would now be the top row with structure voids. So you can see if I hold the structure voids, it kind of gives you this. And again, if you're a Java player, the structure voids don't work like this. You can use debug stick if you want. If you don't care that much, it's not a huge deal. I wouldn't like stress over it, but it's up to you. From the, if you're looking at the door, the rightmost mud brick wall, you'll just extend it out by 1. This would be a little trash can. Anything else before we clear inventory? No. Well, you can stash away your structure voids, I guess. And you do need oak signs. And on the top row of mud brick walls here, you'll take out of the center to the left one. And you can type utility on the second line, again, and shaft on the third. And basically, you want to add spaces to the left of these until you see they go down a row, and then you can just delete one. And yeah, you could also go one less than that if you want. But the whole point of this is to make sure that the right sides of those words are lined up like so. And then to the right of that, you'll have another sign. Count down a line. Type the number 9. Add spaces until your space goes down to the next line. And then you can just delete until you're back on the same line. And it should give you that. Cool. That is this room done. Nice. That only took about 30 minutes for that. That's not terrible. Let's get this staircase done, and then it'll just be to the sewers, I guess. But I don't know. It depends how far we get it, because we might not be able to do all of it, which is a bit unfortunate. I mean, like, as in the room leading up to the sewers and stuff. Because there's 2 sewer points. There's one to the left and one to the right here. Let's just get as far as we can. So get out the following. Chiseled bookshelves. Stripped oak wood. Stripped jungle wood. Oak planks. Beehives. Where? I always forget. There we go. Oak trap doors. Ochre frog lights. Where are they? Good lord. Block of coal. And anything else? I don't think there's anything else that would particularly be helpful here. I guess we can get out the funny little torch. Just one lone torch is in this area. So, directing your attention to the outside and looking back towards the staircase. The chiseled bookshelves you have on the right, you want to place an additional row under. It should be a row of 5, by the way. You can extend that chiseled bookshelf, or those chiseled bookshelves, out with an additional 2 rows. That is not... There we go. So you should have in total, if you count it, 7. I will smack some strip jungle on the end of that facing upwards. And you technically can bring it up by 2. You don't have to, but I'm going to just for the purpose of this. Although you do want to bring it down by, I'm going to say 5. That bottom strip jungle you'll bring back with 4 oak planks. Strip jungle wood facing up, which you will then extend up by 1. Then extend back from there with 3 chiseled bookshelves. Strip jungle. Extend left with 4 chiseled bookshelves, and then another strip jungle. Then extend back towards the beginning with 3 chiseled bookshelves and a strip jungle. Left with 1 chiseled bookshelf. 1 strip jungle. Back towards the beginning again with a upward facing stripped oak wood. I love placing blocks. Then left of, I guess going still towards the staircase from that, 2 oak planks in the floor. Then another stripped oak wood not in the floor that faces up. Then an upward facing stripped jungle. Right with a chiseled bookshelf. Stripped jungle, and then you should kind of be symmetrical here. And you can take both those stripped jungles and extend them. Well, actually, no, you can't, because you want to take the left one and extend it back with 4 chiseled bookshelves. Strip jungle wood, 2 chiseled bookshelves, and I'll just smack an oak plank because there's no point in doing a strip jungle. And the right side is just the 7 chiseled bookshelves. Oak plank, and then I'll connect those planks together at the back. And that kind of gives you this funny little shape. Fill in the floor with oak planks in line with those little rows that I mentioned were in the floor. They should just be kind of on opposite sides. Actually exactly opposite. Although one is a row of 2 and one is a row of 4. And then what you can do is, at least for the bottom portions here, bring everything up the way you would. So the stripped jungle wood up by 3. The stripped oak wood also up by 3. The oak planks can't even go up by 3, so just go up by 2. That is completely fine. And then chisel bookshelves up with 3 stripped oak wood. I don't know why I'm going 2 here. But yeah. There is one more thing we'll have to do as well with this bottom area with the stripped oak at least. I didn't go high enough there. At least I noticed, I guess. Does that make me a winner? Probably not. Just like so. The opening on this side, the 4-block opening, you'll place strip jungle wood going across the top of it. Sideways, it is a block above the heights of the current, like, lower walls here, not including that. And then the other side, you're just placing sideways stripped, or upward-facing stripped oak wood over the top of the doorway to give you a 2x3. This is a 2x3 because I had said so. I don't really know. It's not different than the other doors. I just felt like making it different. The area where you have, as I just mentioned this, where you just went across for the 4x4, you want to take the pillar closer to the beginning of the stairs and also connect it across to this pillar with sideways strip jungle, like so. I will smack 3 rows of oak planks on top of that, and I guess I'll bring strip jungle here on the right just for fun. And then what you can do is the strip jungle here on the right side, this only guy towards the front, you'll bring up by 4. On top of this right wall, you'll just have oak planks on top of these stripped oak wood. And then the 2 rows of chiseled bookshelves on the left, at least where you don't, you'll place... I guess you only need 2 stripped oak wood, actually. Like so. There is no strip jungle in this one either, and there's kind of a reason for it. Just start by filling in with the beehives facing front to back along this particular staircase. Crazy, we're already almost to the sewers, by the way. If you take this pillar on the right, which would kind of... Well, I guess it wouldn't be the center would be here. But if you trace that along to the beehives on the ceiling, you'll break the center two and replace them with oak trapdoors in the bottom half. You want above these ogre froglights like so. So what I'm going to actually do... Well, no, I guess I can just place them from above, and then there's openings I can still get in from. There we go. Cool. There is some block of coal that kind of is visible in this particular area. If you would like to know where, it is starting from the front on the right side, these kind of bottom 2 oak planks, and also one down from the back more one. Against the part that kind of comes down here, the left 2 strip jungle, along with the oak plank above the leftmost one. The top right oak plank here, and then there's a singular block kind of directly below this corner strip jungle, this oak plank on the floor. There's also actually a couple, if you head all the way back, this very back wall, the top stripped oak wood, this top left one, along with one to the right. And then just for fun, right of that, you can place a torch. This lower ceiling you can also fill in with beehives. Still no strip jungle. I don't know if I got lazy for this part of the build, or just decided that I didn't want to do it anymore. But I guess we'll see if... I feel like it does return for the next area. As in the area after you get bonked in the head. Should look like this. As for... Do I want to say detailing? Yeah, I'll call it detailing. Why not? You can get out... Or you can clear your inventory and get out the following. Oak stairs. Oak trap doors. Oak slabs. Jungle stairs. Blackstone stairs. Blackstone walls. Sandstone walls. Composter. And an oak pressure plate. So, second one more thing that we're going to need, but it's fine. We'll deal with it later. From the top here of the stairs, you want to take the oak trapdoors here in the ceiling, and you want to place a set of blackstone stairs directly underneath it that kind of point into each other. That's where that one is embedded in the ceiling. There's a pipe that is kind of under it. Not directly off either side of that pipe, but one kind of block forward, you'll place upside down jungle stairs on these sides. Leaving a gap at 2 going back and placing the same stairs, you will give you this. Also along this back wall, if you take this kind of block of coal I told you to place in the top right, you'll count down by 1, plus a blackstone wall. Left of that, a sandstone wall, and then 2 more blackstone. Already get rid of your jungle stairs and get out blackstone slabs. And for this staircase, it's the same as per usual. Oak stair behind the kind of strip jungle on either side. Oak trapdoor open against you while behind that. Trapdoor below. And you get the drilled as the second one we've made in this part, so I don't think I need to say it again. And still no oak trapdoors at the very bottom. I sometimes will just flip the wrong trapdoor like so. Connect each oak stair together with oak slabs and connect those bottom trapdoors together with more bottom trapdoors. Even though they're technically not bottom because they're on the top half of the block, but whatever. I should give you this. At the very bottom of the staircase, if you're looking at it as I am, the rightmost stair you replace with a blackstone stair, and the slab to the left you replace with a blackstone slab. Turning back around, you want to, in the back, not this corner actually, the other back right-hand corner, so it would be right here next to this opening. You'll have a blackstone wall on the floor, sandstone above it, and then 2 more blackstone. Same thing in the back left corner. In front of that, in the back left, you'll have a composter with an oak pressure plate on top. And then from that point, you should be able to clear your inventory. And you just want a bendy banner in the very corner here that is kind of facing diagonally out on the floor. Because of the circumstances, I want to do one more room. It's a small room, it's a 4x4, but I want to do it now, because then we'll essentially be able to just immediately in next part get sewer stuff done, you know? We'll probably start with this last one, but I'm not really sure yet, I haven't thought about it. Although I'm going to have to quick, because I'm recording that immediately after this. Get out the following, though. Chiseled bookshelves. Stripped oak wood, oak stairs, spruce stairs, spruce trapdoors, beehives, oak planks, and that should be everything. So on the other side of this kind of 2x3 gap, you want to take the stripped jungle on either side and extend it out with 4 chiseled bookshelves. And then I'm going to go diagonally in with upward facing stripped oak wood. Because there is technically stripped jungle on those corners, and I don't really feel like getting it out. Extend the chiseled bookshelves each up with 3 stripped oak wood, and also extend the stripped oak wood up with 3 stripped oak wood. Same thing with the stripped oak, where you're connecting them together across the top. Fill in the floor with oak planks, which will include kind of inside this doorway on the far end. You want to fill in the ceiling with beehives that'll face essentially away from both doors, I guess. Whatever way that would be. And then against either flat wall, you'll place along the base a set of upside down oak stairs in the center facing towards each other. You will copy either of those 2 more times. You can decide to have these face in towards this room or out. I like out because I'm going to place a set of spruce stairs at the top of either kind of doorway here that again will just face away from that room. And then going down on these sides against the stripped oak, I'll have spruce trapdoors open against it. Like so. That was not too bad. And once you're done that, ladies and gentlemen, that is part 7 of Bendy and the Ink Machine, Chapter 2 complete. Almost somewhere. Sewers overall will be kind of annoying, just because of the shaping and things, but hopefully we'll be able to do a lot of it kind of simultaneously, essentially marking all of it and then just filling things up that way. I think that'll be a little bit easier than whatever else. But anyway, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, have a fantastic rest of your day or night, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.